In June of 1957, Bob graduated from high school in Newark, Ohio. He was excited about exploring the world and optimistic about becoming a leader. In June of 1957, Janie graduated from kindergarten in Findlay, Ohio. She wore her hair in a ponytail and was eagerly awaiting her very first piano lesson. Fast forward 49 years. Okay. Bob has seen the world and he has returned to Ohio. He's an industrial engineer, he has earned patents, and he has become a business leader. I'm Janie, only now I go by Jane because it seems more sophisticated, but I will always be Janie in my heart. I have moved to Columbus, Ohio, where I dedicate most of my time, love, and energy to my beautiful family. My husband, 3 young adult children, and 2 grandchildren. Professionally, I am very pleased to have a thriving Suzuki piano studio. Teaching seems to bring out the best in me. One sunny August morning, I awoke just itching to put on my tennis shoes and go for my morning walk in the park. I thought I should nudge my husband to make sure that he would get up on time. He didn't move, so I shook him a little and said, "Wake up! Wake up!" But he didn't wake up. And I was the one who had to wake up to the fact that my life would be forever changed. Months and months went by, and I wondered if I would ever again see a day when I didn't cry. My brother was concerned, so he invited me to his home in San Francisco for a week of R&R. While having afternoon tea with my sister-in-law, she suggested that sitting in a chair, feeling sad and lonely, really didn't suit my personality. What could we do to perk me up? So she asked me to think of something I used to love to do. After a while, I said, well, I like to dance, but my skills are really rusty. It didn't matter to her. She encouraged me to go home, look for a group of adults who shared my interest, and get involved. She also said she would keep tabs on my progress. So I went home and bravely searched the internet to find a ballroom dance club. And sure enough, there was one that was going to meet the next Sunday evening. Ooh, so that night I got dressed, I dusted off my dance shoes and went to the door, and I got there and froze. What in the world was I thinking? I had been married 32 years. I had no idea how to go into a social setting all by myself. I was scared, so I ran inside, put on my jammies, and watched TV. It took 2 more failed attempts and a kind message to bolster my courage. I sent an email to the contact person for the dance club expressing my concerns, and she replied, "Oh, honey, don't worry. I'm a widow too. When you become afraid, you come sit by me at the registration table. I'll take good care of you." She will never know the value of her generous gift to me. So the next Sunday night, I managed to maneuver myself across town to arrive at the dance club. And I came prepared with a plan. I would buy a Diet Coke and hold it in my hand and pretend to be calm and confident until someone asked me to dance. And if no one asked me to dance, I would slip away quietly unnoticed. Well, I guess it pays to be the new girl on the dance floor. I danced for 2 solid hours. About 3/4 of the way through the evening, a nice man named Bob came up and asked me to dance. He put his arms around me and a strange thing happened. It felt as if angel wings were embracing us. And when we started to dance, he started to hum the way my dad used to hum when I danced with him as a little girl. I can't explain what happened during that dance, but it was something, and I was alive again. I left that night kind of hoping I might see Bob again. I later learned that Bob had attended that dance club regularly for years, but had lost interest and decided he would never go again. But that night, something had urged him to go one last time. I also found out that he had a down payment on a house in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, wherever that was. And he had big plans to retire, play golf, and dance on the beach. Well, he came back the next week, okay? And after a few weeks, he became very observant. And he perceived that my favorite color might be red. So the next week, he showed up in a red shirt. And when I arrived in a red dress, the lovely lady at the reception desk came over and took our picture. She sent it to us the next day, and voila, we had each other's email addresses. And that was the beginning of the most charming little email romance. I would run to the computer every morning to see what delightful message Bob had sent me. We clicked. Bob was easy to be around, and we shared a spontaneous joy. But I did notice something really unusual about him. He asked more questions than anybody I had ever met in my entire life. One day, I saw him survey a project he was going to work on. He stared at it so long, I was sure he was in a catatonic state. But he was asking questions. Bob knew that I was suffering with a lot of challenges of widowhood. And one day, he sat down across the table from me, looked at me with his beautiful green eyes, and spoke in his soft voice. And he said, "You know, if you could learn to ask the right questions, you could find the answers you're looking for. May I help you ask those questions?" Whoa, my life was changed. Did he mean I didn't have to hide from those problems anymore? And was it really okay that I didn't have all the answers? He helped me work through those problems and find solutions. I nicknamed him Mr. Solutionary. Oh, yeah, and you might be happy to know, the man of many questions asked me the right question, and we started planning our wedding. The ceremony would coincide with a music workshop that I was going to teach in Bermuda. So we contacted this nice minister at the Pink Presbyterian Church on the island, and we planned our vows and our service, but we really didn't plan much else. So when I arrived at the faculty meeting for the workshop, I kind of casually announced that I would be getting married in a few days. They all knew my situation and erupted with exuberance. They wanted to come, which was really good because we had no witnesses. And then people I knew and some I really didn't know volunteered to provide beautiful music, red flowers, to take pictures, to provide dinner. And then, when we arrived at our honeymoon hotel, we were invited to a party on the porch with live musicians and dancing. It was a fairy tale wedding, and we'd been on our honeymoon for 11 years. Here's the deal. Against all odds, God had chosen us for each other. He healed our brokenness and transformed it into something beautiful. So my story is about second chances. second chances in love, and second chances in life. Bob and I chose to celebrate our second chance by moving to Greenville, where we hope to make a difference. It gives me such great hope to know that my life is no longer defined or limited by past experiences. It gives me great joy to know that there are always amazing possibilities, and most of them are just a curious peek around the next corner. I love you, Bob. Thank you, audience.